We have an update on Cody Rhodes versus The Rock. Plus, WWE stars have been banned from NXT Heatwave this weekend, and the real reason behind the AEW Forbidden Door main events. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. So heading out of WrestleMania, the one match that I think people were very keen to see outside of Rock and Roman Reigns is Rock versus Cody, something that was tentatively teased post-Mania. Cody was on the pivot yesterday, and he gave us a possible time frame for that match.
Yes, he said, The Rock told me he'd see me when he comes back, which he did in that promo where he gave him the mysterious object. And Cody says, my head has been on a swivel every day since the day after WrestleMania for the final boss, as The Rock goes by now, for when his music hits. I'll be in the same spot I was, and I'll be ready for him. If I could give you a guess, I hope it happens in the next year. There's been a lot of speculation that the match could take place at WrestleMania or maybe at a SummerSlam. It feels like a WrestleMania match, though, doesn't it? It's huge.
It does feel like a WrestleMania match, but I'm just thinking in terms of the time frame, would that be one that we'd have at WrestleMania 41?
I know it's hard to predict with The Rock, isn't it? Because it very much always depends on his other commitments with movies and things like that. So I don't know. I think that it would also be a match that The Rock would possibly want Cody to still be champion for.
Yeah,
not saying that the result will go one way or another, but it maybe would be one that The Rock would insist upon that. That's just pure speculation. But that would suggest maybe next year, just because that's the most likely one that Cody will still be in this reign during.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you said at the start there, a lot of people want to see this match happen. I don't.
No?
I'm terrified.
Why?
Because The Rock will batter him. He'll pit him, and then he'll laugh at Mama Rhodes, and then he'll say he's the best, and he'll hold up both his belts, the real one and the pretendy one that he's got now as well. And I just don't know. What
stops them doing Rock versus Cody at WrestleMania 41 and then the rematch on one of the two nights of SummerSlam?
They could totally do that as well. The good thing is about...
Oh, that's 2026, isn't it?
But they could still... The SummerSlam...
Yeah.
But to your point, SummerSlam does appear to be getting bigger and bigger. They are trying to make it almost like a mini WrestleMania, aren't they, these days? So
yeah.
They could still do that. I think they do load up the SummerSlam cards these days. We'll have to wait and see. But Cody seems to suggest there that it probably is going to happen, and I'm so nervous for him.
In the next year as well, between now and July of 2025.
Oh, I think it might happen at Survivor Series. No,
I think it'll happen.
Nothing against Survivor Series.
No, I love Survivor Series. Always gets a kick in. Meanwhile, two WWE stars on Twitter getting, I think, a little bit upset about the fact they're going to be missing out on an event in their home country.
Yeah, this is Berto, a member of Legado del Fantasma, and he's revealed that he and his tag team partner Angel Garza haven't been booked for a show in their home country. He says this year, like last, we will not be at the shows in Mexico City and Monterrey on July 13th and July 14th. We hope to see you next time, but it's understandable, the card is tight and the Mexican crowd wants to see other superstars as well. It's just a little sad that so far we are not contemplated for it, but we'll see.
Does that feel like a little, a carrot, not a carrot dangle, but possibly a hint to the wider WWE creative to go, oh, couldn't help but notice that we're not on the show in Monterrey next weekend?
It could be, couldn't it? Especially because if you look at what they've done, it seems like they've been booked as part of this larger stable. They've often been the fall guys whenever Legado del Fantasma needs someone to take a pinfall or take, as you would say, a shoeing. And they do get their wins occasionally, but you could argue that yes, maybe they are at least two members of that stable who haven't had as much spotlight on them since moving up to the main roster. And of course, you're always going to be disappointed missing out on a big hometown reaction too.
There'll be two people missing out on a reaction from NXT Heatwave as two WWE stars have been banned from the show in Toronto this weekend.
And they're both totally justifiable bannings. Well done, Ava. You are the best general manager in WWE. Doesn't matter who your dad is, you're the best. They remind us every week, Tom. She's every week, oh wow, what a great GM you are, Ava.
Why are you so great?
She does make a lot of sensible kayfabe decisions. Ora Mensah is one of the two superstars banned from the metaphor. He has been frequently attacking Ethan Page in revenge for what Page did to Noam Dar, and was informed by the assistants to Ava, Robert Stone and Stevie Turner, that he is forbidden to go to Toronto for NXT Heatwave. Interesting, because Ora Mensah has been relentlessly showing up and attacking Ethan Page where everyone was kind of going, this is a bit kind of over the top for basically a mid-card comedy heel. And then last week, Ora Mensah cut a bit more of a serious promo going into his childhood and how he now feels like he really belongs in the metaphor. And it's not just because Ethan Page attacked Noam Dar, it's because he attacked the place that he feels most at home, the metaphor. So he turned babyface now and has a more serious slant. And I think he might show up anyway in big heroic fashion.
Oh, do you reckon? And chase Ethan Page off into Toronto.
Sorry?
Chase Ethan Page into the streets of Toronto.
Into the night, yes.
Chase him off into the night. That could be a thing. Also, Rich Holland not going to be part of Heatwave. It was revealed during class, Chase U, that Rich Holland helped Chase U win their top contenders match last week. They cheated, Jack.
He took a dive. He shoved, believe it was Duke Hudson out of the way of a dive and caught it himself. But it's not the only instance of this. The week before that, Rich Holland held Duke's back down during a pinfall behind the referee's back from outside the ring. Duke requested photographs last week of the finish to that match, which arrived, and Ridge went, "Don't open those, mate. Just think of the you." Basically, Rich Holland's been trying to cheat to help Chase U win matches, and Duke, until this week, was the only one who'd cottoned on. And once again, Duke Hudson's on the right side of history, and they've done the right thing, and I hope it means they still win those belts. But the way that wrestling goes, this could be their undoing.
It could be their undoing, because as a result, Rich Holland is banned from attending NXT Heatwave for his malicious act of cheating that is frowned upon in Chase U.
Although, I should mention as well, the tag team champions, Nathan Fraser and Axiom, they've been going through their own issues as well. They're not in the best place going into this match either, with Axiom being a bit concerned that Nathan Fraser is focusing too much on singles pursuits, and Axiom keeps going, "Hey mate, we're the tag team champions as well, you know."
Oh, dissension, smelling us. In the tag division, the NXT tag titles on the line. Chase U facing Nathan Fraser and Axiom this weekend at Heatwave. Also on the kickoff show, we'll have Ariana Grace and Carmen Petrovic, good old Shirley Onions, facing JC Jane and Jasmine Nix in tag team action.
I mean, that is a nailed-on win for the heels, I reckon, because they've got an extra ally in Fallon Henley. They've made a new alliance, which so far has sort of consisted of them hanging around backstage and going, "We should make a change around here." So this could be the beginning of the change.
The NXT Women's North American title could change. Sol Ruka is challenging the champion, Kalani Jordan.
Yes.
I picked Sol as possibly the first Women's North American champion, so maybe they switch it dead quick.
It feels very quick, doesn't it? But they could definitely do that because Sol Ruka has that finisher, the Soul Snatcher, which is kind of being treated like an RKO. It can just finish a match out of nowhere.
Soul Snatcher out of nowhere. Oba Femi is defending the men's North American title against Wesley. I feel like Wesley's time to topple the giant is fast approaching.
Oh, I would go the other way. I think that Oba, unless they really want to fast track Oba to the main roster, I suppose, or to the NXT title picture, because his reign has been magnificent. He's very, very promising indeed. We've been saying on the podcast now, he's possibly, and it's a massive thing to say, possibly a future world champion. He's got everything. But if Wesley wins, I would take that as a good sign for Wes and an even better sign for Oba as well.
The women's title on the line. Lola Vice is challenging Roxanne Perez. Do we see a title change here as well?
I would say no, just because I don't know if Lola has had quite the experience yet in NXT to be the champion, whereas Roxanne's in the middle of this quite dominant run. But you never know. Lola's got, if I do the thing I did with Sol Ruka, she's got that back fist that can end a match out of nowhere. I feel like I'm on a WWE kickoff show.
It does feel like a kickoff show right now, doesn't it? We need some Mountain Dew on the desk. And the NXT title on the line in the main event. Trick Williams puts it up against Javon Evans, Sean Spears, and Ethan Page. And as we know, Javon Evans has got that insert finisher here that can come out of nowhere and end a match.
As does Sean Spears, as does Ethan Page as well. This one, you can never quite predict a four-way because obviously the champion can lose without actually taking the fall themselves. But I would be quite surprised if Trick Williams lost the belt here. He has been so dominant so far and has that running knee that can just end a match out of nowhere as well.
We're just moments away from the pay-per-view. DraftKings brings us today's event. You get us, put in the code Cultaholic for absolutely bugger all. Do that now. Yeah. We'll be right. Shucky ducky biscotti. We could do a kickoff show, maybe.
It's easy.
Flipping brilliant. From kicking off to main event in Forbidden Door on
the
Sunday.
crowd chanting for me. Let me kill some time by doing that and go.
Let's just do that. Hey, they're chanting for Ross, I hear.
Oh yeah,
because he's doing live reactions to Heatwave.
On twitch.tv/Cultaholic.
You can watch along with Ross Tweddle this coming weekend, as well as 9 pitches for Money in the Bank, which is this weekend as well on the Saturday. They'll be dropping later today. Predictions with Adam and Andrew, live reactions with Adam and Andrew, what happened at with Jack the Jobber, and the WTF moments with Ross as well. Busy week on the channel.
Very busy indeed, but it's very exciting as well. We love it. I've stolen Adam's catchphrase there. And you love it too. Leave your thoughts and opinions in that comment section down below.
We all loved the main event of Forbidden Door between Will Ospreay and Swerve
I
Strickland.
thought that was the last story. I was wrapping up.
No,
the kickoff shows are harder than I thought.
They're really difficult, aren't they? Everyone just keeps shouting in my ear. Stop shouting, calm down. So Ospreay and Swerve had a banger. One that we all thought might be a bit further down the road, but as Fightful Select sources have revealed, this was never expected to be the case, and this match actually was in place to stop that line of thinking.
Yeah, Fightful have reported that the decision to headline Forbidden Door with Swerve versus Ospreay was actually Will's idea. They say, those we've spoken to say that Will Ospreay, who has long been a friend of Swerve's in real life and a foe in the ring, grew tired of seeing that Swerve's title reign was a quote-unquote placeholder for Ospreay to win the title at All In. Ospreay approached AEW higher-ups and extended his desire to put over Swerve to help eliminate that talking point. Considering that Ospreay already has big creative plans in store throughout the year, he had no issue with the situation and wanted to set an example that for AEW to succeed, it has to be a team effort. Based on what Fightful heard, Ospreay made the approach after winning the international title, which makes sense because we were all like, why did he win that mid-card belt in the first place if he's then going for but this kind of shakes that out a little bit. And they go on to say he wanted to show that nobody should be above losing to the world champion. Some in the company claimed that a point was being proven as a result.
Now, overall, Will has been a great addition to AEW inside and outside of the ring. Fightful sources adding that Ospreay has been great to deal with in the company and has often helped out when needed, including when others ask for help putting matches together. And that's a real lovely thing to hear when someone new comes in, and not only are they there to put on great matches, but they're also helping with the culture backstage as well. I know that the culture backstage at AEW has been a hot talking point for several years now, and it's nice to see that someone like Will is having a positive impact upon it.
It is nice to see that. I'm just wondering, I'm not trying to discredit that at all. Just that I'm sure that in that match,
gets kicked off the kickoff
after
show.
the ref got bumped, didn't Will get a visual pinfall? Anyway, he may or may not have. Go back and check. But if he did, it's very nice that he did this and he said no one's above losing to the world champion, but I do need that visual pinfall in there, actually.
So when Cultaholic suggests winning all the belts and beating all the champions, he's a bad guy. But when Will does it, he's a lovely man.
No,
is that what you're saying?
I think I'm nitpicking here. I think that overall it is a positive thing, and it does show that everyone needs to work together for AEW to succeed, and that could be a criticism that could be fairly aimed at the company, especially over the past year or so. So fair play to Will Ospreay.
Enjoyed Will Ospreay's Hayabusa tribute as he came out, something that he did a couple of years back in New Japan. He recanted the story on AEW socials about how he took out the daughter of Hayabusa and asked for the blessing from her to pay homage to Hayabusa, which she gave, and he did the same last night at Forbidden Door. And AEW Japan shared a letter from Takanori Izaki, who's the brother of Hayabusa. It was written before the event, and he said, "I heard that Will Ospreay would like to use Hayabusa's costume and entrance theme for Forbidden Door. We, the family of Hayabusa, felt very proud. It's been more than 20 years since he was injured in 2001. Many people still sent him their respect overseas. We greatly appreciate it. I wish AEW wrestlers safety. Please keep showing us good fights. Be careful not to get injured. I also wish that both Forbidden Door and AEW be successful."
That's a very nice story there.
Very nice story to end on for today. And we'll have more wrestling news throughout the day from the kickoff panel at Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.